Hello there, virtual little sibling. I'm Kevin Zhen, Yale 2020 grad and co-founder of the Elevated School. If you're looking for writing or college application help, visit our website, shoot us a message. I promise we respond to every single request. We're also looking for more high-achieving, low-income students. So if you identify as part of that group, let us know so that we can hook you up with a scholarship. Today, I will be sharing 3 golden rules to instantly elevate the quality of your college essays, or really any application essay. The 3 ideas that I'll be discussing today are all extensions of our VSPICE secret rubric. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that video, I highly recommend checking it out. Rule number 1. The first golden rule is that your essay must be something that only you could have written. You would be absolutely shocked at how many times I have read an essay and I feel like it could have been written by any other student. To help you avoid this trap, I have 2 suggestions. The first tip is to jot down a dozen or so specific details or fun facts that are absolutely unique to you. Trust me, these will be particularly helpful when it comes time to write those short response supplemental essay questions, especially these for USC and these for Stanford. Particularly, and most notably, the Stanford roommate essay question. To give you an idea, let me share a few must-know facts about your boy Kev. One fun fact about me is that my sister and I are actually 13 years apart. She's the one who first taught me about abstract art and Lord of the Rings. Another fun fact about me would be that it took an entire year for me to learn this breakdance move called the air chair. A third fun fact would be that I once got stranded on a mountain in Denali National Park in Alaska, and they nearly had to send a helicopter to rescue me. Again, the more unusual, specific, interesting, and funky these details are, the better. Now, my second suggestion is to consider which of these fun facts is actually the most impressive. Which of these conveys something about yourself that just isn't expressed anywhere else in your application? Of the 4 fun facts that I just shared, I would say that the most notable, impressive one would be the air chair. This is because it really highlights my knowledge of breaking as an art form, as well as implicitly conveys my determination and perseverance, since after all, this move did take me 1 year to learn. So, when generating interesting details about yourself, you've got to consider, what does this show about my personality and what character traits am I trying to highlight? Now, to really hammer this point home, let me offer you another example. Instead of just writing a fact like I am the oldest sibling, replace that with, as the oldest sibling, it's my job to cook dinner every Thursday night, and my go-to dish is seafood linguine. This conveys both leadership and selflessness. And plus, who doesn't like linguine? I almost forgot something super duper important. If you guys are enjoying today's video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Seriously guys, your like means so much to me personally, and it also plays a huge role in helping spread our free educational content to more students across the world. Furthermore, if you have ideas about what kinds of videos or content you want to see, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much. Moving on to the second golden rule. This one applies specifically to the Common App. This rule says to have a standout essay combine vulnerability with proactivity. Now, the next natural question, of course, is how do I do that? Well, one way you can do this is by revealing something in your essay that you feel like you might be slightly judged for. There's a few different approaches that we like to advise students to utilize. 1, you could talk about hanging on to a childhood memento, like a Spider-Man action figure. Then share how it represents who you are and what you stand for. Or 2, you could share a quirky detail about yourself, like the fact that you always listen to disco music whenever you brush your teeth. Or 3, you could simply admit mistakes that you've made over the last couple of years. Believe it or not, a college admissions officer would much rather read an essay about your failures as opposed to your successes. After all, that's kind of what your activities list and honors section is for. Another common way to showcase vulnerability is by sharing details about you and your family that might be slightly stigmatized. You don't want to overshare, but sharing struggles related to your family or personal life, especially ones that affected your health or your academics, then explaining how you overcame them, well, that's never a bad essay topic. In fact, this is the very same approach that I took in my own Common App essay, which got me into Yale and Princeton. Long story short, the essay is about me frying rice in my parents' Chinese restaurant and just wanting to quit after a summer. Articulating that fear and doubt, and then explaining how I came to the realization that if I wasn't frying rice, then my injured dad would be the one replacing me, that communicated a lot of maturity and vulnerability. Now imagine if I had just said, yeah, I was frying rice and it sucked, but I just stuck through it. Then, the story just wouldn't have that same emotional impact and carry the same weight. It wouldn't have sounded as authentic. You guys know what I mean? For more on that essay, you guys can check it out here or here. One word of advice here. Make sure you guys don't spend too much time talking about your problems. You don't want a, woe is me, my life is so hard kind of essay. To avoid that, all you have to do is remember that you are the protagonist. You are the main character. The overwhelming majority of your essay should be about you making things happen, not things happening to you. Alrighty, that brings us to the third and final golden rule, which is that your application must showcase your curiosity beyond the classroom. I love this one because it really is something that any student, irregardless of your background, can do. You absolutely have to watch this video where I talk about the rabbit hole technique. After you learn what that is, you can then apply this second follow-up tip, which I have nicknamed the optics trick. Here's how the optics trick works. Simply pick an academic or intellectual concept that fascinates you and talk about how you see the world through that lens. Check out this example where I use philosophy as my academic or philosophical lens. When my dog Jojo and I go on a walk together, she sniffs around a lot. I find myself asking if this is because she chose to sniff there or because her DNA predestined her programming. When I swim lap after lap of breaststroke, I find myself pondering the dichotomy of flow, how one can be completely alone in the search of self-improvement and yet surrounded by a flurry of kicking feet and splashing water. I just made that one up on the spot, but hopefully you guys get the idea. That's it for today, folks. I don't want to overload you with too much information, but if you have watched until the end and you want to continue this adventure, I've compiled a playlist with tips and tricks to help you get into whatever dream school you're aiming for. Check it out. Take it easy, friends. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll catch you at the next one. Peace.